I've been jokingly for a while calling the podcast Strangers in My House.
I am a stranger in your house.
I met you about 2.5 minutes ago.
Literally.
And here we are now creating content for the world.
So happy to be here.
Very happy to meet you. You have this insane energy that I am really excited to dig into. So everybody, please make some noise for this firecracker, Lys Scott. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So
let me get my stuff out of the way.
No, keep it. Don't worry about it. We're chilling. We really living. It is a fine Wednesday afternoon here in gloomy, recently chilly Pittsburgh, PA. How you dealing with the weather? Are you very much one of those people that needs to complain about it, or are you just going to deal with it?
I'm dealing with it. I love life. I love life, and I love all the seasons. I like the changes in the seasons. It's obviously very cold. It was like almost snowing yesterday, but I love when things are happening. It just reminds me, it gets you out of your own head. You're like, yeah, there's things bigger than me that are going on in the world that need to happen. Yeah,
you know, that's a very important mindset for people to have, but not just people, artists.
Yeah, because seasonal depression and or depression is a real thing.
Yeah.
So like you can't let the weather win.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like don't win weather. Like no.
You can't let anyone but you win.
Period.
Except for the homies, of course.
Except for the homies. Exactly. Except for the homies. Too. Yeah.
So, you know, my understanding of you as a human being outside of being alive on planet Earth is that you are an artist. You are a creator. You are making music and probably other things because nobody just does one damn thing anymore.
True. Yeah, very true.
Tell me about yourself.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just music wise, doing a lot of stuff with that, but coming out with an album, coming out with a new music video, coming out with a little show for Steel City Death Club. I don't know if you watch them. They're super sick.
I'm familiar with them. They're friends of the show.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing bada bing, bada boom. I got you guys in 1 week. Bada bing, bada boom. Like super excited for that. But I write all the time. I'm trying to make new merch. He makes clothes, Alante Giovanni, if you can see him.
Hello, our sub guest of the day.
Our sub guest over here. That's Alante. Alante makes clothes. So I'm trying to get into like the fashion, trying to get into that. And what else have I been doing? Artist. I'm like, what do I do with my life? I don't know. What about you? I don't know. It'll come out.
Yeah,
like as soon as I think about it. I can't like think about it on the spot.
I think that, you know, I spent a large chunk of my life doing all kinds of shit, and it all really happened by accident. Well, wanting to make music wasn't an accident, but needing to make an album cover and getting good at graphic design because I didn't have any fucking friends was an accident. And then like buying a camera to make my own video was an accident. Ooh. And all of this other kind of stuff.
DIY. You know? Okay. Yeah. I'm very much so DIY. So like like the video that's coming out, I was directing it. I was planning the shots. I was drawing the little screen things that you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like all of that stuff is crazy because you can't wait for anyone. You can't be like, oh, let me just not do this. No, you're like, I guess I'll just figure it out and learn how to do it and do the best that I can and use what I got. Shout out Atia Jones.
Now, with you, did everything start with the want to do music too, or did it start somewhere else and music became a side effect?
Music is a side effect of my life. It's a main thing in my life now. I was an athlete my whole entire life. I played basketball for a really long time and I redshirted in college and I was starting and then I got kicked off my basketball team. It was a whole thing. Then I was sad. And then I was like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Like, what is my purpose here? Because when you have to pivot your dreams, that's like how the whole accident thing happens. And I would just be like freestyling with my friends. And then it was fun. And then I was like, I actually think like this slaps. Like I was like, yo, like this goes hard. So it was an accident really. And now it's like a main thing that's in my life.
Yeah. So now, you know, as you are starting to, you know, I guess, discover yourself as an artist, have you found yourself rediscovering yourself as a person?
Yes.
As a new Alyssa?
Oh my God, yes. And thank God, because I was treacherous like a couple years ago. Like, I don't even know how I got through. And like, I was a really negative person. Like, the slightest inconvenience, I was like, dead, done, out of here, strike. But
like cold weather.
I was like the cold weather. I was literally like the cold weather. And now I'm like, music has taught me to like stick with something. And no matter if there's like an obstacle in front of you, you know how annoying it is to like sometimes make a song. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, like I have no idea what I'm about to do on this. And you'll try different things. You'll write different things. Something's just not flowing. It's just not clicking. And then eventually there's like a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And like having that small of an epiphany with writing a song, it like taught me that like I can put this towards everything that's in my life.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I can rediscover ways of how to act, how to feel, and rewrite things. So I really think that it made me grow for sure.
Patience is huge when it comes to creating art. And when you're creating art, you're essentially fostering a relationship with yourself. And you need to be patient with yourself in order to create your best art, I think. For
sure. And you have to listen to yourself, like in your moments of silence. And you're like, what do I want to say? And like, what am I even supposed to, like, what is within me that needs to be said? Because like words are super powerful. Yeah. And sometimes you could just be having fun and just be like, well, but then other times you're like, there's a core feeling that I have and it needs to be expressed and it needs to come from my perspective. And I want to like be that example. So it's like sitting with yourself and being like, what has to be said? What identifies with me? What defines me? How can I create that? And how can I project that to other people in a digestible way?
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing when you're dealing with art and you're a writer and you are essentially curating a conversation that you're going to put out into the world. It needs to be something that you need to be something that you want to say genuinely, yes, but also something that somebody wants to hear.
Package.
You can't just have like a fucking conversation with yourself and then expect people to give shit. Yes. Oh yeah, please.
I was like, can we swear? Okay, cool. I was like editing myself and then like I was
I appreciate the eloquent demeanor, but feel free to let loose.
Okay, thank gosh. So
fuck.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about artistry too, is that it's like that package. It's like putting everything in a little package and then being like, this is how I was heartbroken. Sure. This is how I'm happy. Like these are the songs that, you know, are that. So doing that with different things, like with poetry or even with like clothing or anything, even just the way that I like dress myself now or cut my hair or something, like I think about, oh, like I just want to do something different. I feel like growing up, especially in a small town, there's a lot of pressure to like conform to right and wrong. Things are really black and white. And it's hard when you're from a small town because you don't want to be seen as someone, you don't want to be wrong. You don't want to be outcasted for any of those things.
But really what it is you don't want to make other people feel bad because they didn't make the choices that you could have made.
Yeah. And then once you start doing it, then you're like, oh my God, like it's liberating.
Totally.
You're like, I should have been doing this the whole entire time of just expressing myself in this way or dressing this way. It's been liberating. That's where like, I feel like the athlete in me was like, almost like a little like soldier or something. And I feel like the artist in me is like every single emotion that I have is just on the table and it's like, whatever, I'm feeling what I'm feeling. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to hide those things and just put on like a strong face, try to save face. And now I'm like, who cares? I'm just trying to be human.
You know,
just want to live.
You have no real control over the path that life decides to put in front of you.
For sure.
All you can really do is make the most of it. I imagine with your background coming from sports and like a real regimented thing, that's a really good foundation for deciding to then move into the arts. Having that background.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that don't have that background, and you're going to meet them that have no fucking regimented background. And you're like, bro, what are you doing?
Right. Come on in. Do you want me to get the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there more? Are we expecting more people?
I don't know. Okay. Are you?
I'm not expecting anybody.
Oh, wait, who is this? Yo, not the Verizon people coming right now. and they asked for candy. That's what's the funny part, though, is that they
were cute.
They was cute. I didn't even get to see. I let you handle the whole conversation. Were they dressed up?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I love that. What a funny way.
Yeah. Why would you? Of all people, why would they? I mean, that's the safe thing to do to me, but like, can you imagine? Anyways, a lot of people, artists that don't have that, that don't have that background, that hustle, that drive.
That's what we was talking about.
That ability to knock on a stranger's door trying to sell them cable at fucking 6:30 at night.
You gotta have that. Yeah. Exactly. If you don't have the drive to knock on someone's door at 6:30 at night and say trick or treat, first of all, request for candy, and then also do your job, then you just don't have the drive to make it in life. I'll say.
Have you come across any of this now in the short amount of time that you've been working in the arts?
Like just people like being bums, or like?
Sure, that's a rather PG-13 way of putting it. But yeah,
I feel like, okay, so there's definitely, I'm not gonna shit on anyone, but I just feel like there's like definitely a work ethic and there's a work method, and some people, I'm not an idea person. Like, you could have all the ideas in the world. Cool. That's great. I'll listen to your ideas. But at the end of the day, that's just an idea. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're just talking about ideas. Like, I need people who are taking actions. And even if it's something, because you know how, like, as artists, you are so hard on yourself sometimes, and you're like, oh, like, I don't know if this is good enough. Like, I don't even have those thoughts anymore, because it's like, just do it. Just use whatever you have. Even if you're not the best at something, that's better than you talking about it. I hate when people talk about shit. I'm like, no, like, we gotta do stuff, because life is so short. I'm not trying to sit here talking about, oh, I wish I could do this. Oh, I wish I could do that. No, like, I'm just gonna go do it. Like, absolutely. Whatever comes to my mind. Like, if I'm gonna go skydive, I'm gonna go skydive. Period. You know, so I think that that's how I approach things, but it is that like athletic kind of mentality of being like, okay, if I want to get an album done in this time, then I need to make a song. I need to have a schedule. I need to have like goals. I definitely, you got to train that. Yes. You know, you got to do reps. You got to study the enemy. Yeah. No. Rise up against them. Now, you know, in this journey as finding yourself as an artist and rediscovering yourself as a person, you know, have you come across any styles of art or music or anything in general that you weren't even aware existed? This journey? I wish that I could name I wish that I could name people right now, but I'm not the type of person who can like rattle off people's names. That's like, okay. But I can say talk about things. So like artists. So like specifically, like I was just part of Bad Form with Johnny Zoloff. His name's Justin, and Ariel, and it was at Kelly Strayhorn Theater. And what the whole concept was that it was a chaotic symphony. And we literally had no rehearsal. We just went in there into the space, and you essentially just did whatever, and it created something. And what the point of it is that like art doesn't have to be perfect. 'Cause I think that sometimes too, like when we're talking about that gift and that present, you're like, oh, like it has to be wrapped like this. But sometimes you could just hand somebody something and like, that's fine. So like, they really inspired me to, that it's like the journey. that is what is like the finished product too. It's not necessarily like just the end of that song or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think
they were cool.
One of the most unfortunate things that's happened with art over the past several years is like the access to technology. And now all of us can record ourselves, do whatever we want, and that's fucking awesome.
Yes.
But now we also have the ability to make everything sound better than reality. And if it's not perfect, we might not want to put it out there in the world. Hell, there's people that have a hard time even uploading a normal looking photo of themselves without feeling some type of way about it. And that kind of stuff is leaking into everything. And I hate that everything needs to be perfect. Because once everything's perfect, everything's the same. You lose the individuality of what makes that thing great.
Exactly.
It's always the little nuance and the differences that make us great, not what makes us this, not what's similar.
Yeah, not just being like, oh, like this is the quality of the video that makes this. And I agree with you. And I've been like, social media is something I was just talking, I don't even know who I was talking to this, but we were saying like our comparison is the thief of joy. So like when you're comparing yourself, and that's easy to do on social media. You could go on social media and be like, fuck, like I really don't got shit. Like, damn, like all of these things are fucking happening. But then if you just start comparing yourself, you'll go down that rabbit hole of being like, you'll miss everything that's great in your life.
Yeah.
If you just go down that rabbit hole of being like, oh, like, can I fucking do this? Can I do that? Like you really, you gotta be able to separate the two for sure. That's definitely important.
Yeah. You know, were you much of a user of social media prior to getting into making music and art?
Yeah, but I don't think I take it. I have always loved social media. One reason why I like social media is because it gives everyone a platform. Like never before in history were we able to be like, hear other people's histories. Like it was like there was like a grand narrative of whatever was in the history books. You read it and then that was it. You didn't get to hear what everybody had to say.
Yeah.
And now you get to hear all these different perspectives. But like when I was younger, I mean, I had MySpace.
Yeah.
I was out here coding my shit. I was out here putting hearts, what was that song? Jack's Mannequin, Dark Blue up on my stuff. Like I was out here and I always loved expressing myself. And I feel like social media, you can create whatever kind of identity you want to. And that's what you're like, this is what I'm presenting. This is what I think is cool. It's like a scrapbook or something.
So there was like a small part of you then, even when you were probably more focused on sports in the real world, like you're still hiding out on the internet, listening to weird indie emo stuff.
Yeah, with like, the little like.
So there was still like a creative spark in you that was like there.
Oh, I always thought those people were like the coolest. And like, I just never saw that reality for me because like you said, like I was stuck in like, oh, like I'm just going to go to school, play basketball, graduate, get like a normal job. Like I didn't even know that was before I knew like I could write whatever reality I wanted.
Your environment is everything around you. And it probably, you had mentioned, I think that the music happened by accident. Like you were doing freestyles with friends and
just being like high. And those people, just doing shit. Like if we gonna be real, like partying.
And like are those people that you ended up meeting? Like I imagine like after high school, maybe through college or something like that. Like when you start to people from outside your that
main
small town
world. Yeah, that small town.
So your environment changes and as a result you change.
Yeah, I moved to California. So I lived in like Santa Barbara and Long Beach.
Never heard of it.
I don't know. I've never heard of California. It's in this country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So not great.
It's, for real, it is like the wild, wild west. But I moved there. And when you're that far away, I'm thankful for it. It was a hard time for me out there, but I'm thankful for it because when you have nothing, when you have nobody who knows you, no one to be like, oh, there's Alyssa. That's what I expect of her. This is what... When no one's holding an expectation, you just get to create whatever the hell you just get to become whoever you want to become. You're like, no one knows me here. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want to do and call it a day. I love that. That shit was fine. That shit was fun. I was wild though. I was real wild out in California. But I feel like I've like sort of, California introduced me into it, but then when I moved back here, I was able to like focus it and like make myself become an artist, because there is like a difference between like hanging with your homies and just being like, yo, like let's freestyle, like let's get fucked up, let's have fun.
Yeah.
And then to be like, oh, like let's sit down, make this song, make these many songs, make an album. So definitely those worlds collided.
Yeah, there's always a very difficult shift for an artist that wants to take it to the metaphorical next step, whatever that is,
whatever
right?
that
And
is.
like at some point in time, it's not that it stops being fun, but your idea of what is fun needs to change.
Yes, for sure. For freaking sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So like when I first started becoming an artist, it was like every time I just made a song, it still is every time. Tonight we're going to go make a song. Every single time I make a song, I'm like, I fucking cracked the code. I did it. You know? But like now, like, what's really fun for me too is like obviously creating that song and like putting it out so people can listen. But I have like the most fun as an artist now when I'm performing, because now I'm like, I get to show it off to you guys. Like everyone, like we did it. Like I thought about something so hard and now I get to share it with you.
Yeah.
And that's like really magical. And to see people just be like, woo, and stuff like that. Like that's cool as fuck to me.
You know, I think that there's so much positivity coming from you that it is infectious. I really fuck with this energy.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
I need to know, like, you know, is this the kind of energy that you bring on stage? Is this the kind of energy that you bring to the studio? You know, what kind of, because you mentioned like, oh, this is my sad song. Maybe you said that in jest, or a song about a breakup or thing, something like that. You know what I mean? You know, musically, you know, what kind of sonic territories do you find yourself exploring?
Ooh, that's really interesting. I definitely don't box myself. So like, I think a lot of people see me as like a hip hop artist, which I'm comfortable rapping and stuff like that. But the new stuff that I'm making is sort of like emo and punk, but realistically, my music is based off an emotion. Like sonically, if we could get to wherever depth I'm in, then like, I don't care how we get there, whether it's like all synths or something, or whether it's like a beat that we're just making. Like, I don't put myself in a box, because I think that's dangerous. To just be like, oh, like I'm only a hip hop artist, I'm only gonna do that.
No, it's the worst thing that you can do creatively. I understand, and I think if that's their creative vision, they want that to be what they do.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, that's fun. But like for me personally, I think that it's like there's already hip hop artists.
Yeah,
there's already
like,
people that are doing this. Like why?
Yes.
Yeah, what? This is something that we had said earlier, like what am I going to contribute that is worth anyone's fucking time? Exactly.
And what kind of sounds or songs? So like Luke, who lives down the street, Good Dude LoJack, or like Bus Crates, like watching them, or like Soy Sauce or Picasso or somebody, like watching them create beats, even like this guy right here, like I'm just learning that like there's so many different sounds and you can really share. And that's really what you're trying to do as an artist. Like you're trying to relate. And I just made my first beat actually, like
nice.
Yeah, just Congrats. The other day. And like it was weird because I sent it to Picasso and he was like, he knew what I was thinking when he heard it. But that's insane to me. Like that is like that idea of conveying a message through sound, even if it doesn't have lyrics or anything, like that's legitimately a mind-blowing experience to me. Like that's crazy.
It's a great thing, and it's really important as you move forward as an artist, especially in music, to find people that understand the conversation you're trying to have.
Yes.
It's not easy, but it's not impossible. And if you can find those people, you have to like stick with those fucking people.
Yeah. That's like my guys. Yeah. I like literally have like a crew. And now I feel like we need to make a song though. Like putting it out on the table.
I'll give you a quick studio. I'll give you a quick tour of my studio upstairs.
Fuck yeah. Yes, please. I would love that.
I've become very unintentionally selfish with who I choose to like spend my time with musically anymore.
Yeah.
And mostly for the most part, I play in 3 fucking bands. So I already have like a lot of time that I spend working with people, but I'm always super interested in working with new people, different styles of music, because I spent so much time when I was younger always working with different artists, whether I was producing tracks for them or just like doing a verse on something or this and that. Yeah. And I grew so fucking much because I was always working with different people. And even whether it like works, sometimes it doesn't work out, but you still learn from those experiences.
Yes.
And like, and everything that you like try to create doesn't need to be, you know, you cracking the code. It doesn't even need to be something that people need to hear. No. Sometimes it just ends up being like this exercise in like creativity that is maybe not like a conversation that's worth putting out into the world, but you're like, you know,
but you still learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Inez just told me that. She was like, if you're a student, like being a student is like and we're students from each other. Like we learn from each other. So I'm definitely so open to all of those experiences because I'm not going to sit here and act like I know. I don't know shit. Like we ain't know shit. Like what? So like it's
the smartest thing anyone can ever say. Trust me. So you're around someone that says they know.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Get out of there. Get out of there. That's a red flag. Bye. So like being a student and like learning from everyone. And I just feel like I like pick up little things here and there. And I'm lucky. I was just telling my Aunt Lisa this too. I was like, I'm just lucky that I keep finding the right people who are like protecting my energy, but then they're also like helping me. Like they're like pulling me out of my shell, or they're doing things where they're showing me that I was like, whoa, like I didn't even know you could do that. So like, it's all like a crazy experience. And I'm grateful that we have like this community in Pittsburgh because it's solid. Yeah. There's a solid amount of artists here and like gang. Absolutely. Like I was missing out. I didn't even know about this world. And now I'm like, whoa, this rocks over here, guys. This is awesome.
You know, things find you. You don't find them.
For sure.
And the energy that you put out into the world is the energy that you're most likely going to receive.
Yes.
So
in a scary manifesty way.
Yeah.
Like manifesting is real.
Yeah. You know, I am not much of somebody that, you know, you can search this entire house top to bottom. You're not going to find one crystal or anything. I really don't subscribe to any of that stuff, but I don't have a better explanation for the things that happen in my life when I put good energy out there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I end up in a room talking to people like you.
I agree. And then you're like, all I had to do was think of it. And then just put like love towards it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it's kind of wild to be in a situation where, you know, again, I met you maybe 35 minutes ago.
And
we're having an incredibly solid, relatable conversation with each other in a way that you don't have conversations like this with many people.
Not every day. No.
Yeah.
Especially strangers in your house.
Yes.
Strangers in your house for real. And like sometimes when you're going, like you could go to the gym, you can see tons of people and then you'll leave and you'll not even say one word to somebody. So like the fact that like we're able to sit down here and just talk about things and relate, like that's really special. Like it's special that there's like, this is a safe space to do that too. Yeah. So like, but you've created that. So like, that's very honorable. And it says a lot about your character too, that like, this is a safe space to be like, let's just wig out and like get deep and talk about things or just joke around and all of that.
Absolutely. You know, I spent a lot of time when I was getting into music, you know, this was 2006, 2007.
I was going to ask you when you started.
When I was like really trying to play shows. I mean, I started making beats when I was in 8th grade.
Damn.
And I am turning 37 in a couple months. So I'm a fucking dinosaur.
Nice. No, you're not. I'll be 32. So October 24th.
I've been making beats since the mid-90s.
When did you graduate? What year?
2004.
2004. My sister graduated 2005. Yeah. Good year.
And I've just been doing this shit for so fucking long, but I didn't know anybody that did this shit. And when I was at that age, a lot less people didn't do it because they didn't have the access to do it. It wasn't like it was now. Fruity Loops wasn't even a fucking thing when I started.
Like Steve Lacy made like his entire album, I think, off of like an iPad or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that lonely when you were just making stuff? Or like, what did that feel like?
I mean, it wasn't lonely, just like me and my dumb like middle school friends had a little rap group called the Orgy Boys. No. and we made like dumbass, like Beastie Boys type rap songs.
Which is fun as fuck.
And it was fun. I learned a ton about production just by making these joke songs. And then by the time I got to high school, I was like, I really don't want to like write songs about big fat titties anymore. But I really enjoy making beats, and like, what can I like? Do I have anything like real to say? And it took me a while to find my voice because I was like fucking 17. What the hell am I going to talk about?
For real, though.
Besides like girls, that's about it.
Yeah, and being
girls
like,
and working at Taco Bell. That was my life.
Yeah, and
at
drinking.
The time. I didn't even start drinking till I was in my like mid 20s. Honestly.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Big family issues. Eventually I learned how to write about that. and I started channeling all of my misery into my art. So I tend to be like a very kind person, but my music is not very kind at all.
I mean, sometimes
it is what it is.
You got to let it out because we don't want you letting it out, being all crazy and psycho, shooting things up or something. Sure. And you know what I mean? Going to punch people or something. Violence. Yeah. We don't need no violence.
And it's not like I do not have a unique experience, but I do.
Let's not say that.
Well, no, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that go through shit.
Yes.
And I have found my value as an artist is finding a creative way to voice that shit for people. So the miserable music I try to make is something that people could come together and be like, holy shit, I never thought about life in this way.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, blah, 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 woe is me. I definitely went through that phase. It was times
we all did.
where like you learn how to like, I mean, I think it's really hard to like start writing music and for it to not be selfish.
Yeah.
And all good art needs to have a little bit of like, a little bit of it in there, but you need to learn how to start like writing for other people.
Yeah.
And it just takes time.
That's the healing part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cause that's why music hooked me in the first place. That's how it found me on accident, because it was like, I was listening to like Erykah Badu. I was listening to all these songs where people were saying things that like I was feeling, but I had no idea how the fuck to say it. And so like, whenever you listen to a song, you're like, that's exactly what I needed. And then like, so now whenever I'm making a song, I'm like, if I could do that for one person, that's cool on me. If I could die and then they're like, you know what, I think you helped one person, then solid. I did it. Then I did it. I helped. I contributed.
Absolutely.
I contributed to society.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that relatability is something to strive for sure.
Now with your creative interests outside of music, you mentioned like fashion and things like that.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Into it. I mean, I'm loving it. I am loving it because here's the thing. In high school, first of all, I was like just coming out in high school, and I think that I overcompensated. And I was like super girly. I was like wearing like a ton of makeup. Okay. I was wearing like heels. I would wear like makeup to my basketball games. Like I was like, I'm not a dyke. But then whenever I came out, I was like, whatever, I am. And so I feel like I was like going with, I don't know, stereotypes or whatever. And then in college, I like let it all fly like to the wind. I stopped wearing bras. I was like free the nipple. Like it was like everything. And then like I got out of myself. But now with fashion, it's so fun because now like you you want to convey a message, you want to say like who you are. But what's so great about it is that like you can really express yourself without saying shit with what you're wearing.
Sure.
And like people could be like, yo, I fuck with you. If you're just wearing, even if it was like a Steelers jersey or something, and someone saw you in the airport, they'd be like, go Steelers. And you'd be like, yeah, you see me, dog. Like, I do be liking the Steelers.
You know, I mean, the fun thing, I find myself to be a very casual person when it comes to the clothes that I decide to wear. But I think that I love the concept of fashion. It really fascinates me.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I think that they're really, I mean, I'm sure there is such a thing as a good outfit and a bad outfit, but I think the most important accessory is like the attitude and the energy that you have in the clothes.
Yes.
Right?
That's like, the most important part.
I've seen some people wearing some real wild stuff and I'm like, damn, they look
crazy.
They should be president. You know, like what the fuck?
Yeah, like what is happening?
How does that work?
Yeah.
But it's just something about them where they're just like,
rocking it.
You cannot fucking question me.
Exactly.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I tried it, and then I tried it, you know, like, oh, I'm going to get some pants like that. And I'm like,
get some pants like that. If it makes you feel good.
I'm not, no. The energy ain't working with me.
Not
it
here.
ain't my energy.
Not today. No way, no how.
I definitely support others' energy for sure.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that being an artist too, like being on stage, I just want to, like, I want to be like a little role model for people who are like me or whatever, you know?
So that was going to be my next question was if the fashion, if there was a part of it that was a side effect of the music and wanting to have a unique presence outside of having a unique voice.
For sure. I'm trying to break norms here. I'm trying to get out of the matrix, bro. Like I'm just trying to do different things that are so outside of my own comfort zone. Cause I feel like for a really long time, I tried to like subdue myself and just wear like just t-shirts and things and like I tried to like dim myself down. I don't know why. It's like a gray blob and you're like just trying to be like a gray blob. But then I was like, I need to have like some light in me. And like, it's so inspiring when you see those people that you're like, oh, like nothing's fucking with you today. Like you went all out, like you committed to the look. And like, I think that there's courage in that and that there's like bravery in that. And like, I want to be like that kind of person for people. I just want to show people that like, you could just do whatever you want. Like there's really no rules. Like anything you want to do, anything you want to be, whatever you want to look like, just do it. If that makes you comfortable, you know what I mean? Like if that's what is making you a better person and makes you feel strong and powerful, then like, yeah, we should have more moments like where we're celebrating ourselves like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of the like immediate timeline for Lys Scott, like what's on the
agenda,
on the near future?
Kay.
Shows,
dates,
music.
Okay.
Yeah. You know,
albums,
fashion drops, runways.
Okay, that would be sick to do a runway show. My friend actually she just had her, Stephanie Johnson. She just had like a fashion show for her jean jackets, Billie Jean denim. And she did stuff with the Steelers and she's from Beaver County. So like, I'm really proud of her because watching her do something on that big of a scale, it is like something where like, oh, like I could do that too. Like if I just keep working. So entering calendar, Google calendar. All right. 10/23, Steel City Death Club. That's going to be like a live performance, sort of like that NPR feel. That's not going to be released on 10/23. We're just recording. That's okay.
This won't be out before then anyways.
Period. Period.
But something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, something to keep an eye out for. 10/24 on my birthday, October 24th, my 32nd birthday.
My birthday's the 23rd.
my God. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh my God, I love that. Period. So you're like a Libra then, maybe.
I'm a cusp, as they say.
Yeah, as they say. As they do say. And so, okay, so I'm on the 24th. So 10/23 on my birthday, I'll shout you out on Still City Death Club. I'll say happy birthday,
that would be
Brian.
great.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. and then 10/24, I'm re-releasing my album, Squash Dreams and Broken Wings with Crafted Sounds. So Connor was one who reached out to you in the first place. And I am so thankful for Crafted Sounds because Connor was like, dude, I can't get your album out of my brain. And when I first released it, why he's re-releasing it is because he was like, dude, like you need more people listening to you. And I had like, my numbers were like smaller. I still had like different countries and different places listening to me, but he was like, dude, like I just want people to know who you are. And I was like, so I'm so grateful for that opportunity. We made CDs. We made tapes. My best friend designed them. She designed the cover. Asta Thomas, I love you, bitch. And then Alante, actually. So for the first time ever, I'm going to have merch too. And let's go. LSD merch. Yeah, so it's LSD merch. And Alante hand stitched like the designs and everything. He put like the color palettes together. It's really well done. So that's sick. Have those at my release show on 11/8, November 8th. Come to the Government Center. Let's go. Let's party. Feral Cat, Picasso, us. Let's do it. Government Center, super close. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, and the re-release too, it has 2 extra songs on it that weren't on the album before. Turnaround featuring this guy and LSD, like Sleep Movies, Loopzilla, Legend Penguin, Tyler Got Grip, period. And then another song, Breathe In, that my friend Tyler Long, T-Long, he produced. So, and that's where like the emo sounds and like punk and like, cause I was like feeling a type of way. I was like, yo, like, let me say something about like my feelings. Like that's how those songs feel. So, that's fine. So that'll be coming out on the album too. So listen to that. And then 11/8 is the release party. And then, before 11/8, I'm hype. Bro, I could literally, if my butthole was a rocket, I would blast myself out to fucking outer space right now because I'm so excited for this music video. It's going to be called Vampire Dreams, and a ton of people worked on it. I can't even name everyone. There's like 17 people, probably 20 people now who've worked on this, and it's going to be a single that drops out. It's sort of like a short filmish kind of deal. Sure. And it's like going to have spooky vibes because last year I made a Halloween video, and then this year making another Halloween video. And it's just like so good. It's crazy to have an idea in your brain and then like all of these people just helping you make it come true. And then when you're like watching it get pieced together like a puzzle, and everyone's just putting like a piece here, a piece there, a piece there. And then when you see the whole thing, you're like, this is so amazing. So like, I'm really, really excited for that music video. We had people would look at hot as fuck up in it. Like, who came out for that? Like, who did? Oh my God, you guys are the hottest. Like, I was at my own music video and I was like, how did all of these people, where did all these hot people come from? Like, it was like the hots came, and I was like, oh my God, like, that's how it felt. That's coming out 10/31. Cool. And I think for now, that's sort of going to be what mainly is coming. I want to work on like an LSD live thing because my band's super talented, and we are like trying to work on like new sounds too. They perform the sounds that I already have, like the songs I already have. Yeah. So like, I just want to give them a moment of like, hey, like my band's fucking awesome. Like we don't just do my songs, like we have all these other ideas that all of these guys and I don't have any like girls who make music with me though. So if any girls want to make music with me, that would be real cool. That would be real neat. Like, I'm gonna put it out there. Thank you. I just am surrounded by guys right now. So if I could get some feminine energy, that would be cool. But anyways, they have really good ideas. So like, I want to put something, and I just want them to get as much attention that I get.
Yeah.
So that's important. That'll come out probably near, I don't know, maybe past New Year's or something. But yeah, that's pretty much. What about you? You want to tell me anything that's coming up? Like, what's coming up for you, buddy?
I'm working on a lot of stuff right now.
Period.
And I'm not going to tell anybody about this shit. I told you I play in 3 bands and I'm also working on solo stuff.
Busy.
So I got a lot of creativity going in a bunch of different places. Woo! And you need to be mindful of that energy.
Yeah.
And keep it strong and consistent.
Yes.
It's really easy to get burnout.
Oh, so
I'm just
know.
trying to just make sure that I'm giving the art the time that it needs, giving myself the time that I need.
Resting.
To make the best work possible.
Yes. This is exciting time for both of us then.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Alante just made this flannel. Check it out. If you want to get Alante on the... Go ahead, Alante. Turn around. Stand up. Give us a little twirl. Look at the back. Ooh. Hey.
Nice.
This is my friend Darren's shirt. It says, give up on your dreams. Try again. Give up. It's like a little computer mouse. You can't really see it. But that's social living. And then my great grandma's on this little necklace right here.
Well, Lys,
I had a great time.
This has been a great little conversation.
Thank you literally so much. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie, I wasn't going to lead with this. But now that it's over, then I'm going to be fine. This was my first podcast that I was ever on.
Great.
So like, I'm honored, like truly. And this was so freaking cool. Anytime you need me, anytime you just want to chit chat, want to shoot the shit, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can
cameras or not.
Have one of those episodes where we just get real drunk and talk about the universe for 3 hours.
The thing is that I can do that with you. That's the crazy part, is that we'll be there and people will be like, I don't know how they ended up here,
this is exactly
but here
what
they
will
are.
Happen, right? We'll record this episode and me and you will both feel like we had this like next level sort of thing, right?
Yeah, we do.
And then when we watch
really
it, it'll just be like 10 minutes straight of us just like no words, just like
drooling,
staring. Yeah.
Just drooling.
And then one of us will just be like,
one of us will like
who decided
on the camera
what shapes are which shapes.
Yeah, and like what do shapes smell like or something? Like we'll get into that.
Why are shapes called
what
they're
called?
Circle,
though? Why do they do that?
Yeah.
You know,
we don't got to get into
colors.
it now. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that the mantis shrimp has many receptors for color, and they have like over 16, and they can see like a million of colors because we only have 3 or 2 or something. We have 3, and so we only can see certain colors. Dogs have 2, which is only why they can see certain colors. So different animals have different color receptors in their eyeballs.
What I'm sure this isn't accurate by any means.
Yeah, I'm
when
not
I
a scientist.
think about having eyes like that, I think about the way that like a really oversaturated photo looks.
Oh, for sure. It would be like tripping. It would be like you're on acid or something like the whole time. And like things like probably so many like geometric shapes and like all of those things like that would, well, to them, it's not overwhelming because that's their life. But like that would be very exhausting living like that too. So like the mantis shrimp, and it can also punch things with like a force of like newtons or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I just heard it the other day. But they can like punch the shit. They're not in captivation or captive because they can punch through the glass. So I just wanted to shout out mantis shrimp.
All right.
And I think that's a great place for us.
Well, everyone, this has been a podcast. You know what the fuck it is. I'll be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. My name is Sykes.
My name is Lys Scott.
2022. Whoop whoop. I haven't done that outro in fucking forever.
Start the beat. Whoop whoop.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Hey.